Hi, and welcome back to the progress on my Falcon here. It's been a while since I posted a video. It's been warm and we've had summer and I've had vacation, and now it's starting to cool down and get to the point where it's comfortable to work outside, and we're starting to tackle the body work. We're continuing with it from the last video. So let's give you a walk around and let's show you where we're at. Okay, so in the last video I kind of took this area here and cleaned it up, put in some Bondo, put some paint over it, and left it at that. Been driving the car quite a bit since then, but as you can see, we have the original paint here, this cream color. We've got some gray primer that was put on it, and then somebody painted it white over the top of that. I've been working on sanding all this off, so we're down to this original paint here. You can see I've gone in all the way down to the metal anywhere I found some rust and some pits. This is still the respray that I gotta get cleaned off here, but that's the process I've been going through, just sanding this off, getting rid of all this white that's got all these cracks and what have you in it, and getting down to a good surface that we can fill in and clean up really well. Some more ideas of what I'm talking about here. I don't know how good the lighting is, but all this is kind of how that whole roof looked before, and we're still in the process. This took me a good 2.5 hours just to get to this point, and I still got this section here to do, and I'm just using 60 grit on a palm sander, knocking that down. The weather has not been conducive for that because it's been on and off rain for the last few days, and can't really do a whole lot. I don't want to do this in a garage because I don't want dust everywhere. I started tearing off the trim here around the glass because obviously this is garbage. It's leaking, got giant gaps in it, and it's brittle as heck. I mean, it's literally rock hard, not sealing off anything. So I went going through, starting to tear off some of this, get this trim piece out, and get some of this molding out so I can get the glass out. There was a piece of molding here that I took off to do that. On the inside I had to take the deck lid off and get some access to the back side. There's actually 2 bolts that hold this trim piece on. Same thing on the other side. I'll show you those in a second. I started tearing off the trim pieces on the side. So the big trim piece that was here, the trim pieces that run all the way along the side here, and I'll show you some of what I was going through to get all those off. But all the way to the front to back, those have been pulled off. Still debating on the door handles and the lock cylinder right now. I'll probably end up pulling those off as well, just so I do it right. But this emblem here, to get to that, I literally had to pull the fender off, and I'm not a big fan of doing that right now, so we'll still see if I do that. I started on the windshield here. Again, this trim molding going all the way around. It's quite interesting how this stuff fits in. I'm going to show you how it happens here in a second, but there's basically a channel and this rubber seal that trim molding seats into, and because this stuff is really brittle and hard, difficult to work with, and I'm trying to get this off of here without breaking the glass, because we don't want to have to replace that. Well, let's show you some of the pieces of trim molding I've taken off. So this is that side piece of trim molding I took off. These are the 2 corner pieces that go at the base of the back glass to the trunk lid and that C-pillar quarter panel. And this is the piece of trim here that goes along the right hand side or passenger side of the back glass. But like I was saying, you can see here, hopefully, is that it sits in a channel inside of that seal, and that's what holds it on. These are the rear quarter trim molding pieces. Someone painted over them, so obviously I need to get those cleaned up. These are the two off the back door. These are the two off the front door. These are the two off the front fender, as well as the front piece. This is the passenger side windshield trim, and again, you can kind of see that edge there that this sits into that molding that holds the windshield. Success. One upper trim piece without mangling it. All right. Alright, so just giving you an idea how these trim pieces here come off. This one's literally just got 4 bolts or nuts that hold it on, so it's not a big deal. Kind of loosen them up just so you don't have to wait for that. So again, this is just straight up bolted on. I'm going to end up getting rid of this red stripe in here. Trying to decide if I want to go with black or how I want to finish that off, or just leave it chrome. But let's show you how to get these trim pieces here off. Now it's got a combination of fasteners on it. Some of them are bolted or nutted or whatever, studs. And some of them are just clips. So I'm going to take the nuts off of here. Now they're spring-loaded fasteners. So once I start loosening them up, they end up coming loose from the trim molding. So we'll take them off after the fact. There's another one up here. The rest of it are just clips. So all I'm doing is taking this loose here and working my way forward to where the clips are and popping them off from underneath. So, and I'm doing it from underneath because, well, that's not the side you look at. And if there's any scratches or anything, you won't see them. Alright, so voila, that's how these come off. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this particular video. As you can see, this is a slow process. It takes a lot of time to get the molding pieces off and do a little sanding. Once I get all the sanding done, then of course I've got a lot of body fill to do. We'll be videoing some more when I get to the body fill area after I get all the sanding done. But I just wanted to drag you in, let you know where I'm at now. My goal is to have it done by the end of the year. There is a car show coming up November 1st. I don't believe I can make that one, but my goal wasn't a car show anyway, so that's not critical. It just would have been nice. But either way, I'm going to keep working and enjoying on my projects. I hope you're enjoying your projects. And until next time, work safe, have fun, and be good.